The masked man tore at the woman's clothes, then yanked off her skirt, grinning wickedly as he said, "If you can make me happy, maybe I'll let you live." When the woman refused, he struck her so hard she lost consciousness. By the next morning, an older man happened to pass by and rescued her, taking her to the hospital. Meanwhile, the trial for Henry was still underway. The opposing lawyer insisted that Henry wasn't suffering from schizophrenia, that he had intentionally shot and killed the two men who had harmed his daughter. To prove Henry was of sound mind, the lawyer provoked him again and again, hoping Henry would lose control.
Think they deserve to die, Mr. Haley? Answer the question.
Carly,
They
don't answer
deserve
that
to
question.
die.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Henry's words caused a huge uproar, and the courtroom soon became convinced that his mind was perfectly normal. Jack, Henry's defense attorney, knew they were going to lose the case. He went to visit Henry in jail and urged him to plead guilty. Doing so was the only way to save his life. But Henry had no intention of surviving dishonorably. The only reason he'd asked Jack to defend him was because Jack was an American, someone Henry saw as no different from the jury. Henry wanted him to set aside legal logic and think like one of them. What could possibly make them give him his freedom? The next day in court, Jack abandoned all standard defense tactics and instead spoke to the jury from the heart. He asked everyone to close their eyes and imagine what had happened.
Drag her into a nearby field, and they tie her up, and they rip her clothes from her body.
He described how all innocence and purity were destroyed amid the stench of alcohol and sweat, how the men trampled on the young girl's dignity again and again, how they shattered her chance to live a normal life, treated her as an object of cruelty, and threw full beer cans at her until she was covered in wounds. Then they tied a rope around her neck, pulled it tight, and pushed her off a cliff. By the time Jack finished, many jurors were in tears. He asked them, "If it were your own child who'd been hurt like that, would you still believe those two men deserved to walk free?" Everyone knew they had brought their fate upon themselves, but because the victim was a black girl, no one wanted to admit it. In the end, Henry was found not guilty. As the crowd erupted, he embraced his injured daughter in front of everyone.